tonight on the South Today. After 19 months of negotiations, a deal has been reached between allied health workers and DHBs. Police are investigating after car enthusiasts sprinted around Forbury Park Raceway and revved up at Forsyth Bar Stadium. And thousands brave Christchurch's cold winter nights to explore the city's annual Te Rama Mai Light Festival. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. After 19 months of negotiations, a deal between allied health workers and district health boards has finally been reached. The workers covered are those outside the medical, dental or nursing professions. This includes a range of professions, including the likes of psychologists and physios, through to the people who clean surgical equipment. About 10,000 allied health staff walked off the job for 24 hours last month as part of rolling industrial action and demonstrations around the country. The new deal includes immediate pay increases and changes to terms and conditions for workers, as well as provisions for pay equity. More than 98% of health professionals voted to accept the deal, the same level as previously voted to take strike action. Police say they are continuing their investigations after up to 400 to 500 cars met up at Dunedin's Forsyth Bar Stadium on Saturday night. And elsewhere over the weekend, a group of cars held an illegal race on the Forbury Park Raceway.
A group of vehicles sprinted around the now closed Forbury Park Raceway in Dunedin at the weekend. A video uploaded to social media showed about 10 cars and one scooter drifting and travelling around the track at high speeds. But the chairman of Forbury Park Trotting Club says he was duped into letting car enthusiasts on the track. Craig Padden says he was phoned by a man who said his late grandfather had a connection to the trotting club and he wanted to do a couple of laps of honour. Padden admits he'd been led up the garden path by the person who called him. Meanwhile, police say 400 to 500 cars converged on Forsyth Bar Stadium on Saturday night as part of an organised meet for illegal street races. Social media posts billed the event as a Christchurch to Dunedin invasion and was co-hosted by a number of car clubs. Videos showed burnouts and skids in the car park. Police attended but say they didn't enter due to the large number of people in attendance. However, officers followed the convoy around Dunedin throughout the evening and are continuing their investigation. In Dunedin, the South Today.
COVID-19 is continuing to cause problems at Dunedin Hospital. This afternoon, the Southern District Health Board suspended visitors from Ward 4C due to a COVID-positive patient. The DHB says all necessary steps are being taken to ensure the exposure event is contained, including closely monitoring patients and staff for signs and symptoms. They've apologised to patients for the inconvenience, although some visiting is still available on compassionate grounds. Meanwhile, general visiting at Dunedin Hospital continues to be limited to between 2 and 6 p.m. daily. Drainage work on Dunedin's George Street redevelopment project had to be halted for about an hour after a water main ruptured late yesterday.
The massive geyser was visible for much of central Dunedin and prompted a quick response from workers trying to stem the flow. The serious breach happened outside the Farmers Department store on George Street, with the water believed to have entered through the roof of the building. Staff could be seen rushing to move stock in the cosmetics department. Other businesses, including a tattoo parlour, were also affected by the torrents of water. In one unsuccessful attempt, crews attempted to use a digger's bucket to catch the water and stop it spewing skywards. Isaacs Construction Chief Executive Jeremy Dixon says it appeared a fire hydrant had been clipped during work. A council spokesman said the incident will be investigated. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Thousands braved Christchurch's cold winter nights over the long weekend to explore Matariki themes through light and sound. The annual week-long Te Rama Mai Light Festival features a series of lighting installations and artworks to help brighten up the chilly midwinter.
Dazzling displays of colour, along with fire breathers and aerial performers, lighting up the chilly winter nights as Christchurch celebrates Matariki. The city's annual Te Rama Mai Light Festival has combined with Matariki celebrations this year. That brought thousands of Cantabrians out to brave the cold, exploring Matariki and Ngāi Tahu narratives, told through light and sound. Christchurch City Council Events and Arts Manager Lucy Blackmore says the festival is evolving each year.
We wanted to have a richer, deeper meaning behind what we're trying to do with this event, and so that's where it's great that the storytelling is incorporated in the vision, the light, everything has a meaning behind it.
The centrepiece of the festival is this 21-metre long illuminated tunnel. Tane Flanagan from Mariki Creative helped design the installation, also providing his voice for the narrative.
We hope that people walking through understand the creation of a world according to Ngāi Tahu, and I guess the power of storytelling and how storytelling can carry a lot of learnings, teachings and guidance through tikanga and te ao Māori.
He believes the festival is a great opportunity for local Māori to get their stories out there. Christchurch City Council Arts Advisor Kerry Jardin says there's a great hunger for knowledge about Matariki and the region's history.
It's an amazing opportunity to learn, and I know that there's a hunger for knowledge about history, about Te Kahui o Matariki, the star cluster that is Matariki, and about Ngāi Tahu. So it's an opportunity to start engaging with those in an enjoyable way.
Te Rama Mai continues every night this week, with the performance elements returning again from Friday until the festival wraps up on Sunday. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Whai Yakane, still to come on the South Today. A native New Zealand tree is planted in West Otago to mark Matariki, and school kids from around the South talking the talk and walking the walk in a Manu Korero competition.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency, and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Living Well Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including Little Box. Every day the team at Gillian supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Passion drama,
competition,
rivalry, marketing,
numbers,
atmosphere,
power,
fight, attack,
intuition,
love, hate,
money,
cash, millionaires,
fans,
and fans. Oh boy.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. A pohutakawa has been planted at Tapanui Cemetery to remember those who've passed on in recent years. Members of the West Otago community gathered outside the cemetery for the planting of the young tree, which also has a special connection with Matariki.
This pohutakawa, planted at the Urupa or cemetery at Tapanui, has special significance for tangata whenua and Pākehara alike.
We chose the pohutakawa for the link to the Pohutakawa star and bringing it back to the remembrance so we can sit here. And we've chose the entrance of the Tapanui Urupa. This is the entrance just over this side, just so people can sit here and reflect.
Karakia and Waiata rang out before breaking ground at the cemetery. Whaia Jackie Eels helps coordinate the kapahaka at Tapanui schools and says the tree and all the materials for the memorial seat were donated by local businesses. The pohutakawa tree was chosen and planted at this time of the year to mark the Māori New Year.
And we chose the pohutakawa for remembrance, and I chose this spot here because when I was looking after Bernardo's tamariki, home-based education, I used to bring the kids here and would sit here and have a picnic. So now I thought, how great to have a chair here.
8 more trees are due to be planted over the next 8 years, marking the 9 stars in the Matariki cluster. And while the beginning of Matariki is about remembrance, Eels hopes it'll see people increasing their cultural awareness in years to come.
I'm just really excited because I know that in the future, it's going to get more, people are going to be aware of it more, so which is fantastic.
She says the cluster of Matariki helps bring people together, which is why members of the community were invited to help join in the tree planting event. In Gore, the South Today.
An unloved creek in Palmerston has been given a new lease of life thanks to a planting program by local pupils. Pupils from Palmerston Primary School joined with members of the local community recently, celebrating Matariki alongside the completion of a planting program. Over the past year, they've been working to restore the creek, removing old trees along the stream bed and planting a mix of native trees and shrubs in their place. The school now plans to also install some seats in the area so pupils have the different classrooms can spend time at the creek. The project received funding from a variety of sources, including the Waitaki District Council. Otago and Southland High School students have come together in Invercargill, sharing their thoughts and experiences as part of the regional Manu Korero speech competition. The event's one of the most significant on the annual Māori education calendar for nurturing the public speaking skills of rangatahi.
The annual Ngā Manu Korero speech contest is a nationwide event aimed at encouraging the development of skills and confidence of Māori students. Although the national competition is being held online, the southern regional competitions were held in person recently in Invercargill. Budding young orators attempted to impress the judges across the 4 overall categories of junior and senior Māori and junior and senior English.
What it was is a way for Māori speakers to show their proficiency in te reo Māori, as well as also in the English language.
And while the event was hosted in Southland, speakers from Otipoti schools or Kura walked away with the majority of the awards. Maia Rakete Gray from Te Kura Kaupapa Māori or Otipoti won the Senior Prepared Māori section and is proud to be among rangatahi helping revitalise te reo.
So I'm actually the first Māori speaker in my family. I was lucky enough, grateful for my parents. They put me in Te Kohanga Reo Manaki. I'm lucky enough to be able to grow up around my culture and find out things that have been lost in my family for generations.
20 students from around the region took part in the two-day competition this year, the numbers affected by COVID-19 and other illnesses impacting schools. King's High School student Te Atarau Cassidy comes from a Dunedin whānau where te reo is the main language in the household.
When my older brother was born, they decided to start speaking te reo Māori to him and carried it on till I was born a few years later, and pretty much been speaking Māori my whole life.
Regional Manu Korero coordinator Cherie Ford says the event's important for providing a stage for young people to express their views. It was a new experience for Waitaki Boys High student Aidan Takirua Mita, who is among the speakers embracing the opportunity to take part in the event.
I've come on totally fresh. I've never heard of this before. Yeah, I expected there to be events like this, but I wasn't sure if, it was such a big thing in the South Island, but it's good to see that they are. So I really like this event, and I wish more boys in my position would come as well.
The speech competition's in its 57th year nationally, and Southern coordinator Cherie Ford says it gives young reo speakers a platform to share their experiences as tamariki Māori. King's High School's Te Atarau Cassidy won the Senior Māori category, along with claiming the Senior Māori Impromptu section and being named first overall. Meanwhile, Queen's High School student Tallulah Costa claimed top prize in the English category. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Whai Yakane. After the break on the South Today, class mascot Jimmy is taking Gore school kids off the beaten track with a new way of storytelling. And we'll check the weather outlook.
Shall I make some scones? Drop when you...
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. A new children's story walk has been added to the Gore Gardens thanks to the hard work of a class of Year 5 pupils at Gore Main School. The illustrated walk follows the adventures of class mascot Jimmy as he gets lost and tries to find his way home.
9, 8, 7,
A proud unveiling. Pupils from Room 8 at Gore Main School reveal their own story walk, now on display at the Gore Gardens. It tells the tale of a class mascot puppet called Jimmy, who has a series of adventures after getting lost around Gore. The concept was created by the pupils themselves, with pairs working together to illustrate different parts of Jimmy's travels across the district.
We do a part where Jimmy is on top of an old steam train steaming towards Mandeville. When the train comes to a halt, he gets flying off and into a bright yellow tiger moth plane.
We did where he's on the tiger moth and he wonders if he'll ever get back to Gore Main School, and then he parachutes down to Gore Main School and runs and dives into Room 8.
He lands in the bird gardens and he talks to a ladybug, and then I think he goes to the Pioneer rugby team.
The original idea came from library assistant Teresa Blackbeard, and she's impressed with how the pupils' story walk has turned out.
We're just really excited to have a homegrown story on the story walk written by our very own Tamariki of Gore, and it is New Zealand's only permanent story walk at the moment, so we're pretty proud of that.
The pupils say a lot of effort went into creating the illustrations, with care to ensure the individual episodes matched up correctly.
It's really hard to make our storywalks link together. We had to retry and retry because some of us went over what we were meant to do and some of us went too low.
The hardest part of it, I would say, is the dog, which took about most of our time.
The story is called Reach for the Stars, Jimmy, and echoes the school motto, as well as being just in time for Matariki celebrations. In Gore, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. After 19 months of negotiations and industrial action, a deal's been reached between allied health workers and DHBs, covering improved pay and conditions. Police are continuing their investigations after car enthusiasts sprinted around Forbury Park Raceway and hundreds revved up their vehicles outside Forsyth Bar Stadium. And thousands are braving Christchurch's cold winter nights to explore the city's annual Te Rama Mai Light and Sound Festival, which explores Matariki themes. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the Associate Editor, Jo Simpson. Kia ora, Jo.
Hi.
Now what can we expect in tomorrow's paper?
Has the Southern District Hospital cancelled all surgery this week bar cancer treatment due to staff shortages? We're looking into that.
Okay, thank you, yes.
Chemist Warehouse is coming to Dunedin, will be in the Meridian Mall.
Exclusive, nice.
Emergency services spent 6 hours trying to refloat a boat which got caught between the tide and a tyre in Port Chalmers. And today we've had more than 130 bus cancellations due to driver illness, leaving readers vowing to never use the buses again.
Gosh, well, it was another day after what's been a couple of weeks of that too. It's
I got caught out the other day.
Oh, gosh.
Dunedin, and we're finishing on a grim one with Dunedin sea lion pups being killed by drivers in the Otago Peninsula.
Oh golly, that's never a nice story to hear.
Oh.
I know. Well, thank you for sharing with us, and we look forward to reading all your stories in the paper tomorrow, Jo.
Thanks.
And now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, it's looking rather cold for the next week or so as southwesterly airflow dominates our weather patterns. There's also some brief showers coming through tomorrow and again on Thursday. Heading to the top of the South Island first. Rain with light winds and 13 degrees for Nelson tomorrow. Greymouth will be wet as well with a high of 11, and Christchurch is looking clear after a frost with 10 degrees. To our southern towns now. It'll be a showery and chilly day through here with breezy southwesterlies. Expect highs of 9 all around for the Catlins, Lumsden, Balclutha and Gore. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes area. More showery and windy days lie ahead through here. There's westerlies and 10 degrees for Queenstown and Wanaka. Alexandra will be cloudy with the winds picking up and a high of 12. While Te Anau's southwesterlies will drop back as the day goes on, reaching just 9. To the northern towns next. Cloudy skies and light winds are hanging around for another day, with Timaru heading for 13 and 12 for Oamaru. It'll be cloudy inland too, with westerlies for Twizel and Omarama, both getting up to 11 degrees. Down to Dunedin. Northerlies and high cloud tonight as it drops down to 1. Tomorrow's looking like a cloudy one with early but brief showers, a frost out on the plains and late southwesterlies. Expect a high of 12 and then down to 5. Thursday will be cold at times with southwesterlies bringing hail and sleet after lunch. It'll get up to 14 and then down to 4 overnight. And now to Invercargill. Breezy westerlies tonight, dropping down to 6 degrees. Wednesday will be showery with gusty cold southwesterlies, reaching a high of 9 before dropping to 5 overnight. Thursday starts off wet with more southwesterlies and sleety hail. It should clear later in the day after reaching a high of 7 and a low of 3 degrees overnight. And that's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te po, ka kite anō.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.